Chelsea Football Club play Bournemouth away from home this weekend, and Chelsea versus Bournemouth, the match preview is going to be here. However, we need to talk about the press conference Enzo Maresca had first of all. Within his press conference, Enzo Maresca gave us the latest injury news regarding Malo Gusto, Lavia and Reece James. One good news, two bad news. Furthermore, we find out what's going to happen with Ben Chilwell and Carney Chukwuemeka. We get tactical insight on Enzo Fernandez and Jadon Sancho and his relationship with the ownership group. The mess is happening. You lot are panicking. I'm here reporting. What the hell has Maresca been doing? We find out. And finally, he gets very defensive, and I loved it because he was protecting a member of his staff. And I'm going to explain to you who he's protecting and how this kind of us against world mechanism is what we need at Chelsea. We haven't had it for long enough. Now we do. But before we get started, we're back to business now. No more transfer news. Now it's match previews, match reviews, and more importantly, analysis from games. So if you lot enjoy that level of content, and of course when there is news regarding transfers, subscribe to the channel. And if you're a regular that watches, or if you're new, yo, what do we do on the Kavkas View? You come into my house, you take your shoes off. It's the equivalent of you come into my house, you hit the like button. We ain't washing hands anymore, we're taking shoes off. Let's get started, get comfortable, let's go. Bournemouth versus Chelsea, the match preview, and the press conference was very entertaining. I think one thing is for certain, Enzo Maresca has really got good charisma, and I'm going to enjoy listening to his press conference. And he gave us an update regarding the three players that we know had injury problems going into the international break. From my understanding, because the quote was very it was left for observation, as the correct term is, right? He was left there in the air. He said, Romeo should be ready next game. Is next game tomorrow or the game after? I don't know. However, we need him back. I'm praying Romeo Lavia is going to be on the bench, come on for 20-30 minutes, slowly ease him back in, and he's ready to go again. However, Malo Gusto is still out, even though we saw him training and pictures of him. This is a little bit worrying because Reece James is still out. He said Reece has still got a problem and gave no other detail. For me, there will need to be a serious conversation held in the upcoming weeks with Reece James, but I don't think today is the right moment. I'm not saying sell Reece James, but I'm genuinely starting to get to the point now where next summer, if they want to sell Reece James and an offer of 60 million or 70 million comes in and they decide to cash in, I will not be complaining. Mark my words, I won't be. Because Reece James doesn't get injured because he wants to. However, his body is breaking down in front of our eyes. And it's been 2 years of non-stop injuries. And it's frustrating. It's so hard to build a team around him. I want to see Josh Achimpong. It better be Achimpong. It better not be Disasi. I'm telling you now. Play Moises Caicedo right back instead of Disasi if you have to. Do not play Disasi, please. The whole summer was surrounded with controversy regarding Chelsea have isolated players. Chelsea are not treating these players fairly. Well, today we get a little bit of insight. Number one, he was asked about the squad size. He said, look, I'm training with 24 to 26 men every single day. Even back then, today it was 24. In the summer, it was 25 to 26. It was never the 40 that was originally reported. And that is so nice to hear that he's open and transparent. Then they asked him about Carney Chukwuemeka, and this answer was beautiful, because what I liked about this answer was it was to the point, it was clear, and it was concise. I like Carney Chukwuemeka a lot. The problem is he's got too much competition. And that is so true. There are too many attacking midfielders in his position. He needs to play 30 to 35 games. He said, I've said this before, I'm reiterating it again. This is good. He's basically staying consistent. His message is clear. He also said, we looked for solutions for him. We couldn't find it. Now he's back with the squad. He's in the Conference League squad and he's back in the squad. We're going to see what we can do. For me, this only just says one thing. We're delaying the inevitable unless Carney Chukwuemeka does something to change his mind. Because the reality is, these options that we have in that number 10 role, it's too stacked, man. Genuinely too stacked. Ben Chilwell, well, Ben Chilwell was been training alone, and the tune of him on Ben Chilwell, in comparison, the tune of Enzo Maresca on Carney Chukwuemeka, completely different. Didn't say he likes him. Didn't say he likes the player's attitude. He didn't praise him at all. He just said, he will come back and start training with us, or we're going to find a solution. The player at this moment in time was training because we wanted him to go. The idea was for him to leave. He didn't leave. Yes, he's included in the Premier League squad. That is information that I'm given. He didn't say that. However, I don't think Ben Chilwell is going to get any realistic minutes this year unless something goes terribly wrong with injuries. I think Cucurella is ahead of him. I think Renato Vega's ahead of him. And I think Ben Chilwell just does not fit the plans. What I found very interesting was the question from Saraya regarding Enzo Fernandez. Because I think a lot of us have got a problem with the way Enzo's being utilized. I'm one of the first to say Enzo Fernandez is a box-to-box. Enzo Fernandez can do everything in that midfield. It's just nothing to a tremendous standard in the final third. And that is a problem that we need to fix because Enzo Fernandez cost 100 million. So when you cost 100 million, there's an expectation on you, rightly or unfairly, that you need to be deciding games. And that's only the fairest way I can say it, right? A lot of you say, oh, you always protect Enzo. I'm not protecting Enzo. I literally was just critical of Enzo. It was constructive criticism. When you cost that much money, people will expect performances that make you the star of the show. It's what happened to Paul Pogba, and it's what's happening to him. The only difference is I think Pogba was a much better player than Enzo Fernandez. So it is harsh. However, now we need to talk about what Enzo Maresca said. Maresca said it perfectly, right? Enzo's the only one in the squad at the moment that can do the role that he wants of him. And that's in possession, he can play the 10 and he play attacking midfield. Or when we lose the ball, he drops back, makes it a double pivot and plays the defensive role. Guys, for those of you that are my age, 28 years old out here, 96 baby, actively, you know that this is just a conventional 8. This is what midfielders back in the day did. And like, I'm really aging myself when I say this. I think modern football has really developed to a point now where we look at players like, oh, he's a 10, oh, he's a 6. Bro, why can't you do both? Like, genuinely serious, why can't you attack and when you lose the ball, sprint back, get into position, get a little bit of space, kayak across. I'm not saying you need to be a robust midfielder that tackles and breaks ankles and like absolutely hustle and bustle. But why can't you get into position, work hard for the team and read the game? Like, I don't think it's too much to ask for. I think these days we try to specialize players so much that now Enzo looks like a black sheep, like, wow, he's different, he's so special, he can play the 10 and he can play the 6. No, Enzo's just an 8. Like, he's just an 8, and it's as simple as that. And I think we're overcomplicating it. And so for me, I think saying that he's the only one in the squad that can do this, I think is highly disrespectful for Carney Chukwuemeka, for Cesar Casadei, for Romeo Lavia, and Moises Caicedo. That's my personal opinion. I don't know about yours. You lot think I'm being harsh here? Because I genuinely think I'm being absolutely fair. When it comes to number 10s, we're blessed. And what I love about this situation at this moment in time is Enzo Maresca doesn't hide it. And he doesn't have a preference for who's going to play in those attacking positions. And that's what I love, because he was asked about Jadon Sancho. Oh, is he a squad player? He's like, no, I don't have squad players. I've told you guys in the past, I'm telling you again, it is all about how you train. We need to make sure that stays. Because I don't care if you're performing on a weekly basis, but yet, after a while, your performance starts to deteriorate because your head's getting too big for your body and you're getting like arrogant. I need consistency. I don't need one-off appearances. I don't need a hat-trick in one game and then for you to disappear for 5. We have got so much competition that it needs to be sharpening everyone up. We've got Christopher Nkunku, Jadon Sancho, Joao Felix, Cole Palmer, Noni Madueke, and Nicholas Jackson. And I know I forgot someone else, and Pedro Neto. 7 players for 4 positions, right? Some of you consider Mikhailo Mudryk. I don't consider him, let's be serious. But the way Enzo Maresca has said it is training is imperative. Jadon Sancho is not a squad player. He needs to be proving that he's ready to start. I love it. I absolutely adore this. What was very interesting was there were 4 questions by Saraya before the conversation went into the ownership. That girl does her journalistic duties perfectly. I absolutely love the way she conducts her business. She's really developing and setting a standard for how press conferences should be handled. Because her 4 questions gave me insight. And if you can see, I'm utilizing most of the answers that I gathered from her question. Then the conventional questions came in. What's your relationship like with the ownership? Oh, and all the stuff in the news. Why do we care? Bruv, the reality is, I've said this so many times. The geezer's there to be the manager. He's there to coach the players. On what grounds do we consistently need to hear about the ownership? And you're just causing uproar for no reason. And he said it perfectly. I focus on the next game. My job is to focus on the game because I don't need to get distracted. It's all about winning the next game. And honestly, that's what I want from him. It is that simple. Furthermore, and I think this is the most important part, he reiterated, He spoke to Todd Bowley after the Manchester City game, and he also spoke to Igbali a couple of days ago. Simple. Why the hell does he have to release every conversations he's had with his owners? Or more importantly, every 5 minutes? What, did you want him to go there and say, oh, well, you know, I like Todd Bowley and I like Igbali, but I'm leaning more towards Todd's side like the fans because I want to be with the fans? No. The reality is they're his bosses. Let him do his job. He's paid to be a football coach. Let him be that. Stop asking him stupid questions, man. The final question absolutely put a smile on my face because that journalist, he tried to ask a little cheeky question. You know the ones when there's an undertone there? He's like, oh yeah, Chelsea against Wolves, Larson scored a goal from a set piece. Oh, and then against Crystal Palace, a set piece came in and went around and then Eze scored. And he said, oh, you hired a set-piece coach. Is he not making an impact on the defensive end? And Enzo jumped on him. Oh my days, bruv. The way he got defensive, it was amazing. I loved it. Because he said, hold on, he's also scored goals from set pieces. And guess what? We're going to concede in the future as well. It's not about, is he doing his job? Because he is doing his job. We're just going to have to develop as a team. I love that. Because he specifically did not enable this to become a headline. He defended his guy, he defended the team, and he showed that there's unity in the squad. And for me, that is imperative if we're going to move forward. He also went on to say he watched the 3 games back. And he took the same outcomes as I did. A lot of you said, oh, you're deluded. If you think we played well in those games, you're deluded. Well, guess what? Me and the gaffer are deluded together. You know what I mean? He comes in, takes his shoes off and hits that like button as well. But it's one of those things. You know it is. Me and him most probably will have some ice cream and talk about how well we played in the first 3 games. Because the reality is, Manchester City, I told you lot, Haaland was the difference. Wolves, second half was perfection and is what it's meant to look like. Against Crystal Palace, they had 1 shot on goal and it went in. I do not want to hear this nonsense that, oh, they were far better in the second half and should have won the game. What second half? We should have been out of sight in the first half. Second half was a little bit more of an even game. And even then, I think they had 2 shots on target the whole game. Don't get me started, man, because it does rattle me when people try to spin a narrative that there's been no improvements this year. There's been a lot of improvements this year. The final bit of information that we need to talk about today is the preview for tomorrow. All right, I'm going to tell you lot this. Tomorrow's game is not must win, but I'm telling you now, I would prefer to win it. And I know that sounds stupid. Obviously, I prefer to win every game. But honestly, if we don't win that game tomorrow, the meltdowns are going to be catastrophic. The meltdowns that are going to occur from people are going to be broadcasted across all platforms. Oh my God, we've only got 5 points after the first 12 games. Oh my God, we should have kept Poch. You're going to hear nonsense like that. What we need to do is, we need to go pick up points. And the reason we need to do this is because last year in this game, we got 1 point. Then against West Ham away, we got 0. Nottingham Forest at home, we got 0. Brighton at home, we got 3. So out of the possible 12 of the next 4 games, we had 4 points. If we can secure 10 or 12, I'm telling you now, people are going to love Enzo Maresca. They're going to come join me on the couch and be celebrating with me, man. They'll be like, listen, we got a good gaffer here. He's the good one. He's a good one. But if we drop points tomorrow, the hysteria is going to be absolutely mad. Please don't do this to me. I think we got the talent to get into that game and get what we want. I'm going to back the boys. I'm going to say it. We're going to win 2-1. We don't keep clean sheets, so I'm not even going to pretend that we do. 2-1, we're going to nick it, and we're going to keep it stepping. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. Like I said, when you walk into the house, you take your shoes off. Hit that like button. Peace out, I'm out. Have a lovely day. See you for the match review tomorrow. Bye.